So in the past few videos I've made with my GS, I've endlessly ranted and complained about the paint job on this car. Now for people that have seen those videos, my car was black before and it had endless amounts of swirls, rock chips, paint fade, blotches of bad spray paint, rust. It's been remedied now. So this is Selena, my 2001 Lexus GS 430. I got her on November 3rd of last year with 213,000 miles, and last night I hit 222K. The first maybe month was kind of bumpy, but you know, we're smooth sailing right now. Knock on wood. So let's get the cat out of the bag. The biggest thing that I've done to this car since you've last seen her is she's red. She's red, finally. And I did talk about that. I wanted to do like a supersonic red on Toyotas. I was debating at the time if I wanted to either go to Mako, which they gave me a quote of $3,300 to do the whole car. That's not bad for a body shop, but I don't have $3,300. So I did it myself. I used Rust-Oleum and Krylon paint. So it's Rust-Oleum, Regal Red, spray paint. I used Krylon pink glitter over that spray paint, and then Spray Max 2K clear. Because I've seen other people on YouTube make videos of spray painting their cars. I've spray painted my Tacoma. That was the first one I've done. And between this and my truck, I've done a few in between that. So I kind of built my confidence in my painting abilities. So this is not about painting the car at all, but it took me about 2 weeks or a week and a half to do everything. I did film some stuff that I guess I'll put over me talking right now, but it was kind of, well, it's pretty labor intensive because I also had to do some rust repair too, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. I still have to do a little bit of wet sanding and a little bit of polishing and buffing, but I'm very content so far. It turned out better than my truck. I've also done tints. I got 20% tints on the windows, on the side, and on the back, and 50% on the windshield. And it helps my eyes because I have a doctor's note. Get one of those if you can, so you could do dark tints. So most of you that know me or have known my cars before know that I'm a bit of a nerd for roof racks, and I had to put one on my car. So I found a Yakima roof rack on Facebook Marketplace for $100, and I found this wind fairing for it for $10. What a steal. But these cars use the Q towers, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's Q46 for the front and Q53 in the bottom. I'll fact check myself in the description. So the age-old question that people ask me, and sometimes I ask myself, is if having a 200,000 mile car worth it? And let me just tell you, yes and no. So a few weeks ago, this is the first thing where a lot of my money just recently went. I was driving the car and then it started misfiring and hesitating. I was like, oh no, I don't need two Lexuses in my life doing that. There's a story behind the other one that was misfiring and hesitating. But I took it into the shop because we have another project car that has been sucking all of the energy out of me, you know, trying to diagnose things and figure things out and fix things. So I decided to take it to the shop, and I had the spark plugs done, a bunch of new vacuum lines, a vacuum switching valve, and something else, and now the car runs mint. I also put on an InGen cold air, well, short ram intake. It's not a cold air intake, but I mostly did it for sound, even though a lot of people are like, oh, it's a hot air intake. Okay, but like, just listen to the sounds that this car makes. Another few things that I did while I painted my car, I wanted to, you know, give the whole thing just overall upgrade look. I got these taillights from Facebook Marketplace also. Some people say they're depot taillights, other people say they're Braga taillights, but they're just LEDs that look a lot nicer to me. I also got a new Lexus emblem from a brand new Lexus, and then black chrome badges, but they were black chrome. No, they weren't black chrome. Those were the chrome badges on the car. Just used touch-up paint to paint them black, but they look better. So inside there's nothing really to report with on my car. The only thing that's gone bad is the amplifier for the Mark Levinson premium audio system, which is common to go out on these 21-year-old Lexuses. So what I've been using actually in the meantime, I'm actually using a Bluetooth speaker. This is my high quality stereo system, but what I want to do is have everything gutted. I think the car has new speakers in it, but I want to get a brand new head unit with Apple CarPlay, so I'm, more modern and, in touch with technology, and also probably an aftermarket amplifier and maybe even a subwoofer, because I really am an audiophile, so having a good audio system is something important to me. But thankfully that's all to report. But for 222,000 miles, the interior is still in great shape. The seats are still in great shape. The steering wheel, all the leather on the dash, everything has just held up really well. 3, 2, 1, go. Seconds. 56 seconds! Now I wanted to talk about the things I want to do to this car to improve the handling dynamics. I love the sound of that intake. So, I'm not going to thrash it, but I am going to talk about the handling of this car. Now, when I reviewed this car, I really did not, put it through its paces, the first time, because I was still learning how it drove, and the tires that I had on the car weren't that great. They had a bunch of bubbles in them. But this car does have quite a bit of body roll, but compared to a lot of other, big sedans of this size, it handles very well. But there is some body roll, and I have been starting to get used to it, but I would like to get rid of, any body roll that's in there. Let's see. I got a little bit of air, but it handles really nice, but you really just have to learn how to play with it. And then also in terms of throttle response, when I'm in drive, it's not really there. That was all of Avery. It's not really there. I'd like to do something to improve that. Some people have talked to me about the quantum booster. I'm going to turn the AC on because now we can be chill. But some people have talked to me about the quantum auto tune, not quantum booster. That's the sprint booster that I was thinking of. But there's a tune out there that is supposed to give me better throttle and transmission response. In the long run, I would just like to manual swap this car. I have been doing a lot of research on the internet, and some friends have been, pointing me in the right direction. Some people are talking about, it's the 350Z transmission, I'm pretty sure, the CD009. It's a 6-speed manual. I'd like to do that because apparently it pairs up with the 3UZ and the 1UZ pretty easily, and I can get the ECU reflashed to, have it, be accustomed to a manual transmission. But in terms of the steering and suspension, it rides really nice. This car is great on the highway. It loves eating up highway roads. And I still want it to do that, but I want it to also handle better on roads like Avery Road. Now I'm stuck behind a slow GX460, but I want to get stiffer sway bars or thicker sway bars to eliminate body roll, and I think lowering the car will also help that. I think for now I'm just going to do lowering springs because I can't afford coilovers. In the long run, I definitely will get coilovers, but I heard that Megan Racing springs are nice. And I also like the aesthetic of, you know, a slightly lowered car. I don't want to be too low with this. This car has great power. And on back roads, that's where a Rivian R1T. I hope you could see it. I want to review one of those. But, yeah, this was a more spirited drive. I wanted to take you on a more spirited drive with this car to show you how I really thrash a car on a back road. And this is how I really enjoy it. So power-wise, the car has plenty of power for a back road for me. The handling and braking and, you know, everything in between, like the response and the communication between driver and the car, those are what are most important to me. And of course, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time to build the car to how I want it to be because it's a big sedan. You know, I'll never forget that. And comfort is one of the most, you know, my favorite things about this car. But I want it to handle as similar to an IS300 as possible because Michael, my boyfriend, has a Lexus IS300. And I reviewed that one. It's so much more planted, so much flatter, but that's just because that's a more dedicated sports sedan, and this is a more comfort. Ooh, they opened that road. Michael, they opened that road. But more comfort and sports-oriented sedan. So that's, you know, the difference of that. And then this car is a few hundred pounds heavier. But I want to do a comparison video between this car and Michael's IS to, you know, of course, first see, you know, like the differences. Of course, you know, this is bigger, his is smaller. But I want, like, the main question, and like, this isn't going to spoil it because we don't know yet until we compare them. The main idea of that video will be, does the extra power of the V8 in the GS430 outmatch the better handling in the IS300? Because there's no denying super wheels on a Corolla. There's no denying that the extra power, the IS300 handles better. This handles very well for a big sedan too. I'd like to drive the BMW 540i, the E39. I still like this car. Like, driving an E39 will not convince me to get something else because I've really gone through a lot with this car, and I love Lexus, and I don't want to deal with all the little issues that BMWs have. I know every car has its issues at 200,000 miles, but I don't want to be dealing with constant coolant issues and Vanos and all kinds of things like that. I do like that the E39 can come with a manual transmission. Well, the 540i. That's something I wish with this, but I can convert it. It will be a lot of money because I think it's $5,000 or $6,000 to do that. So I'm not going to be swapping this car anytime soon. Damn it, I'm driving the wrong way. Well, like, you know, not the same way I want it to go. But yeah, like, I can always swap it. But primarily, like I said, I want to focus on the handling of this car. Sounds so good, the engine intake. And that's just the intake. I do want to do exhaust in the future too. I think I can turn around here. Yeah, I want to do exhaust in the future too, but I don't want it to be too loud because I don't want too much drone, and I like how I can make the car loud when I want it to be and make it quiet when I want it to be too. And I don't want to do cutouts because I've experienced exhaust cutouts before in the past. But I have a lot of plans for this car, as you can tell. I'm still in the adrenaline mode of, like, you know, the track ready. I want to take this car onto a track. I'd like to take it to Summit Point, but, you know, and they do that Friday at the track thing, so I want to do that. The turning radius is also something that I really love about this car. It just like now accelerates with much more authority. Some people might not like it, but I really like the extra sound that this intake makes. And when I'm cruising normally, it doesn't make too much noise, like you could hardly notice it. Okay, so that is my, honestly, I don't remember the exact amount of time it's been with this car, maybe 9-10 months with Selena, and she's red, my RED GS 430. I just love how the red pops so much and how it just, you can really tell that this is my car. Some of my friends have already spotted me from a mile away, which is really cool. Two things that I wanted to mention before I let you guys go. I want to paint the wheels gunmetal. I still want to do that. I think I'm going to do that this summer. Like I said, I also want to try to do some suspension and steering mods to the car. The last thing I also wanted to mention is the Japanese front tag. Now, my boyfriend Michael, who has the IS300, I'll link that video up above here. We're ketchup and mustard, as you could see, because, you know, yellow and red, you know, yeah, we're cringe like that. But he showed me these Japanese front tags. Now, this is from what he told me. It's the temp tag. This is a temp tag, well, the design is, but you know, 430 because GS 430, and 10/03 is the date that I bought the car. So, you know, a little Easter egg right there, which is cool. He also has the same thing on his IS, but, you know, personalized for him. But that's the end of this somewhat quick update video. We had a bit of fun today, I think I'd say, but thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for many other videos like this, because I am back on a roll and I'm gonna start getting press cars soon. So we are going to see a lot of fun, new and still old things on the channel, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye peeps.